Welcome to our channel, Barcoded Chat. Thank you for scanning in with Barcoded Chats. We are your hosts, Niteria and
Sydney.
if you're scanning in for the first time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're a returning guest, we surely appreciate you. And don't forget to share with a friend.
All right, folks. So, like I said last week, we have this new game that we're introducing. It is our weekly random question. So, this week's question. Okay, this is kind of a fun, lighthearted one. Probably won't take that long to answer. Everyone can see your track for a day, or you have a braid fall out in front of a crowd of people. Which one do you choose?
This is a funny question. My braid fall out in front of a crowd of people because, well, for one, regardless, it's gonna be humiliating.
Not either option is a
So
no
you just
option.
take it. I feel like if you think of it, you can either take your braid falling out and you go ahead, people laugh at you and it be over. Or you can take your track showing all day and people laughing at you all goddamn day. And you crying all motherfucking night.
I
which
too
one?
would go with the braid because to all my non-black listeners, it's much more embarrassing to walk around with your track showing, baby. I don't
Literally.
care. That braid, you can scoop that hoe up. You can leave it behind. You can act like it wasn't your.
You can kick it to the side, y'all.
Okay? As long as the braid didn't come out in the front. But braids normally don't come out in the front. They usually in the back or the middle
Right.
or something, you know? But yeah, it's much more embarrassing for your track. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that braid in a crowd full of people. And I'm just scoop,
Right.
and keep it moving, all right?
Right, kick it to the side.
Okay, y'all. So that's how we just like to kick off the episode. But this week, y'all, you know it's October. We gotta come to y'all with some spooky shit. We love it. I love
Spooky.
it. She don't.
I mean, it's all right to be a little spooky, but y'all be taking it too far.
What's
Sydney.
too far?
Sydney like to take it too far, y'all.
What I take far?
She be wanting to do scary stuff like that's uncalled for.
I just be wanting. We want to go to a haunted house. We asked her to go to a haunted house. She damn near cussed us out.
Not happening. Not happening. No.
We're gonna check back in next week. See if we got her to
When
a
I'm not
haunted
going. Find me at the house.
This week, because we know Halloween is approaching, but we're not going to really get too into Halloween yet.
Right.
But we do have some ghost stories to share, guys.
Ooh.
That's why I say, it's time to get a little spooky on this episode. We want to make your skin crawl a little bit. So, I have a couple of ghost stories. Now, do either one of us have ghost stories? You have a ghost story?
No. I don't like scary stuff. I try not to even bring that stuff around me. I let the Lord do his work. No, thank you.
I think the only ghost story I kind of have is I think one night it was really dark and I think I was walking to the kitchen for food, who knows. And I think I saw this figure sitting in all white, in the corner. I assumed it was my dad. So that's why that's my closest. I feel no. I'm like, nah, I know I saw something sitting in the corner. I know I saw something sitting in the corner, so I'm just I think that's the close. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, I've worked in some places that were quote unquote haunted, or I've been around some places that were haunted, Or one time there was this building that had been closed down at our school. It was like the old cafeteria, but they just never really did nothing with that house. So it was just sitting there, and people would like sneak in all the time. And one night we snuck in, and we were like rummaging around that bitch, like seeing what we can find. Like it was just old and stuff like that. It was really fun, but it definitely was giving vibes of like, feel something in here. Like it's that type of like, what was that noise? It was like that type of shit.
Cindy be
like,
doing dumb shit. Yeah, dumb. Why would you go somewhere where it ain't been open and y'all rummaging through? Why is you looking for something?
I'm living my life, okay?
All right, when them demons get in your soul, you can't give them back.
I'm dead. But that's our little bit of ghost stories. But I did find some actual stories, y'all. So let me pull this up here, y'all. I found this. Shout out to Click to Houston. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
All my Houston people, y'all know Click to be having the good shit. But so I pulled some people that I thought was like really, I feel like they stories. I was like, nah, we gotta talk about these. Like, and I especially want her scary ass opinion.
Yeah, because I haven't heard these stories. I don't know what she's about to talk about. So
yeah,
we'll see, y'all.
So this person, his name is Les Pallet from League City, Texas. He says, yes, I believe I've seen a ghost. Back in the early 90s, I worked at Maxwell House Coffee in Houston. The original plant was a Ford Model T plant, so the cars. One night, he was working overtime around 9-10 p.m. He was sitting in the break room. He says he saw an older gentleman walk past the first 4 windows. Each window is like a 4x4 window, 3 feet off the ground, 3 feet of brick in between. Like, you know, it's big, so, you know, you can see somebody. He says the older man walked past the first 2 windows, but he never walked past the other 2, and he never saw him walk past the door that actually leads into the break room. So it's like 2 windows, break room, the other 2 windows. He walked past these first 2, but he ain't see him complete the path. And so he said he kept waiting. He's like, I kept waiting to see, like, I know I saw somebody. A few minutes later, he said he walked outside the room to like see where he went. Like, am I like, where's this person? Nobody was there. He said he thought it was weird, but he went on about his business and went back to his room. So, and also to note, the location of the break room is right next to the time clock, so everybody has to walk past that. So maybe he's just thinking, you know. He says a whole month later, he's sitting there talking with his coworkers, and the guy was telling the story about how they was fishing or whatever, and he showed him a picture of an old buddy and who they used to fish with. So he goes and looks at the picture. Ding, ding, ding. It's the man that he saw walking past the break room. So he was like, oh, I saw that man walking past the break room like a month ago. Like, you know, oh, where is he? And somebody was like, there's no way.
Him.
There was like, there's no way you saw him walking past the break room. They was like, there's no way. And the dude was like, nah, like, I saw him walk past. And then the guy told him, he told him the guy's name, and he was like, that man died 5 years earlier walking to the time clock. And I think something happened and like fell on him or some shit. And so I guess he died. Yeah, he died at the job. Like, he died 5 years earlier walking to the time clock. And boom.
That's crazy, but that's definitely like something that could happen. Like you said, that you felt like you saw your dad. Like, I haven't seen somebody that's passed of mine, but I've definitely like felt their presence and like knew it was them. So him, you know, that, like they said, that man died on the way to the time clock. He's seen the figure of the man walking. Like, that very well sounds like it's like legit, like that happened, like that could happen.
Yeah. That probably, yeah. I don't know, I read that and I was like, ooh, Not that I know I saw him like, but see, that's my thing. Like, I couldn't see like a face on the figure that I saw, but it's like, he seems like he saw a real ass person. Like, you saw a real ass person.
Like I seen Homeboy last week.
Right. So, yeah. Okay, y'all. The next story, because we got a few, but. So, this is from Lori Brown. Doesn't say where she's from. So, she says, my son was supposed to be a twin, but she lost one of them. A few years ago, she was asleep on her couch after taking the kids to the bus. She said she heard something walk across her floor, and she lives in a mobile home. So it's easy to hear, you know, creaking, like it's not like a foundation type thing. So she heard something walk across her floor. She woke up and she saw her son wearing exactly what she put him in for Red Ribbon Week. Then she said, I saw him walk into my bedroom, and she yelled at him and asked why he wasn't in school, and she didn't get an answer. So she went to her room, and there was nobody there. And then she said her father always says that when her son goes to stay with them, the grandparents at their house, he would wake up to his son standing in the doorway, but it wasn't like her son. So they think it's the twin, basically. It's the twin. The twin is who she saw in the Red Ribbon Week outfit and who she yelled at, but he wasn't there when she went to the room. The twin is who the grandpa sees standing in front of his door, but it's not the live son. It's the son that died.
It's giving very much scary.
I read that, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, like, I got chills. Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep if that was me.
I don't know. That reminds me of a TikTok. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to get annoying. I watched TikTok, and the girl was on there talking about how, like, when she was on there talking about something, her son was, like, in the room. And then her son was like, look, like, it's so-and-so. Yeah, like, could see, like, and apparently, I guess, like, he was seeing, I think she said she had an abortion. Like, she no, maybe not. It was something. But, like, the child saw a child that she lost. And he could see that. And she got really weirded out. Like, it was all on camera. She got really weirded out. And she asked her son, she was like, hey, you want to, like, leave the room for a little bit? And then that's when she was like, y'all, like, that would, like, I had this child, and she, like, started going to, I'm like, that's so, like, but I kind of believe in stuff like that. Like, those are, like, tethers and ties. Like, I very much subscribe to Jordan Peele's movie, the one after Get Out, Us, how they had, you know, the two parallel worlds.
Let's talk about how I was terrified of that movie.
I could get into it.
I was scared of Us. Like, didn't I watch it with you, Sydney, for the first time? I think I watched it with you. And then I had to watch it again because I didn't understand what was going on. And I was like, oh, it's the two worlds. Like, it's just shadow. And I was like,
yeah.
That's so scary.
I thought that was so... I need to rewatch that movie because it's Halloween, too. We been watching any scary movies? I haven't watched any scary movies.
Maybe...
I haven't watched this.
I don't know. I was scared of Us. I feel like... What if that's true, that our shadows are really living underground and they're really mad at us and want to get a vengeance? But baby, I love my shadow.
Okay, hey girl, I'm here for you. Come on up.
Right. What you
I
want to do, girl?
wanted
You
a
want to get some
twin.
eat? Like,
I always wanted a twin, okay? But
right.
yeah, like, I don't know. That's so crazy. Like, those types of ties that can really still live on, you know? I don't know. I think that just speaks to that.
That's
Okay.
true.
This one. Y'all, I think it's okay. Mickey Larson does not say a location. She says, as a realtor, she was showing a house to a young couple with a baby one evening. And she had her daughter and her 2-year-old grandson. They tagged along because they didn't have nothing to do. So she brought them on to the opening with her, or the showing. She said it was like late fall. So I guess maybe imagine, you know, it's October, November. It's late fall. So by 7 p.m., it was really dark. The house was empty, but the lights were on, and they proceeded to tour the house. Halfway through the tour, the couple with the baby was like, we feel a little odd in the house. And then she agreed that she was feeling weird, but she just waited for them to say something. Because she trying to show the house, you know? So she was feeling weird, but she was like, I ain't gonna say no, I'm gonna keep showing the house.
I'm not trying to miss my money.
Okay? So, but when both parties was like, yeah, no, we not feeling too hot in here. So they both agreed, like, let's leave. So they gathered everybody up in the living room, which I think is really smart. So they gathered everybody up in the living room together and turned off all the other lights so they could exit. She made the comment, is everyone here? And everybody answered yes. To which then her grandson, her 2-year-old grandson that she brought with her, said, what about him? As he pointed down the dark hallway.
Like, this is making me
She
scared.
said, we ran out of the door and it was all I could do to lock up the house fast enough and leave.
Nothing about him.
They gathered everybody up and her grandson said, what about him? And pointed down a dark hallway. Because at this point, they had cut all the lights off in the house. And he said, what about him? Baby, they live.
That's scary. That reminds me of that Martin episode, the Halloween episode where they started missing in the house one by one. I'm freaking dead. That was a good episode. But that's scary. If somebody say, what about them? And I don't see nobody. Baby, you getting left with them. Like, whoever them is. Them can have you.
Ooh. I knew it was going to be lipstick on my teeth. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. No, I read that and I was like, nope, not at all. No, thank you.
Right. I don't want the house. I don't want the child. I don't want none of that.
Nothing at all. Okay. So this one. This was more about a house and not really about like a person. So this is Sadina Shaver. She said, let me tell you a little bit about my mom's house. She said there's not enough words to write all the shit that happens, but she gives a little bit. She was like, let's just say my mom's house has issues. She said spirits, voices, shadow men, unexplained phenomenons, and possibly the first 3 of 4 stages of possession. She said there are even witnesses outside my family that can vouch for the almost 20 years of activity. So I guess they've always lived in this house. They never chose to move. So, okay, she said, let's talk about the shadow men. We had a few, mostly in the back of the house by the bedrooms and lurking in the backyard. One liked to scale the walls and skitter about in my room. One had a faint blue tint and rattled windows when confronted, and the other ones just stalked the edges of the house.
No.
So as far as the voices, she said her sister's room had a lot of voices in it. She said she would walk into the room or wake up in the middle of the night and it would sound like a room full of people just suddenly stop talking. Like when she would wake up, that's how it would feel. Like she would wake up and then she got that feeling of like, cause she said it was just so quiet so suddenly that she felt like somebody had to be there. It got too quiet too quickly. Then they had weird electrical issues, and even the electricians they could never figure out why this was happening. And it was mostly in this person's room. In the span of a year, every outlet sparked and lost power, but the fan was still worked. And the scorch marks showed up without fire. It spread down the hall into the kitchen over the years. And then she said, but the weirdest thing is her mom's room never had any activity. It was void, except for a mold stain that wasn't mold. It looked like a severed chicken's head on the ceiling above her bed, which they could never really figure out.
What? Where do y'all be finding these houses? What be going on in the foundation?
But some of these places is built from so long ago, I believe that ghosts be lingering and shit.
So do you feel like, for instance, if they build a house on top of a cemetery, do you feel like some of those people that are buried underneath the house are gonna come up in there?
I think it's just very much like you're encroaching on somebody's spiritual space. The same way, they go build on reservations of, Indian land. You're encroaching on somebody's space. Like, I believe in spirits. I believe in lingering and stuff like that, you know. So if you gonna choose to, you know, disrupt somebody's, which that is rude because, you know, that's what cemeteries are for. Like, that's somebody's final resting space,
right.
even if it is just for their body or whatever. So I don't know, but that's all I really got. But just as far as those stories, but the stories are crazy. I don't know about some of those. If I woke up and felt like a bunch of people stopped talking, but I've been there.
Not the who y'all talking about.
You get the weird vibes. I've gotten weird vibes before. Like I've gotten the I think it's somebody behind me type shit. Like,
yeah, like I feel like that's like spirits. Like that's normal, or is it?
Is it normal? Okay, y'all. I did not know about this story. And this is a Houston story. This shit happened in Houston. Pasadena, Texas, to be, you know, correct or true or whatever. So, it's also called The Candyman, Houston's real life horror story. So,
Boom, boom.
Basically, back in 1974, this happened in Houston. It was kind of a cold, kind of a misty, damp night, remembers Harold Nassif, a former Pasadena detective sergeant who investigated the case. Since it had been raining, Mr. O'Brien had a raincoat on. Unbeknownst to his friend who he was with, he had the pixie sticks shoved up the sleeves of his raincoat. Ronald O'Brien gave pixie sticks to 5 children, including 2 of his own. His 8-year-old son, Timothy, asked for one first. He said the boy responded after he ate some of it and that it was very bitter and didn't taste right. An hour later, Timothy was dead. The pixie sticks were found to be filled with cyanide. None of the other children had eaten theirs, but one child tried. He had gone home, showed it to his mother, and she wouldn't let him have it that night. She said he could have it after school the next afternoon. Parents across the country vowed to never celebrate Halloween again. O'Brien said he was shocked, even giving an emotional eulogy at his son's funeral. Basically, that's somebody else saying it. So they was just, all the parents were like, this just took away all the trust that we had in the community. Like, you know? But come to find out, this man poisoned his kids so he can get the life insurance policy on them. They found an adding machine, like a calculator. They found a calculator next to all of his bills written out, and next to the numbers on the calculator was so basically the number of the bills and the number of the life insurance policy was pretty much the exact amount of what he stood, so he'd be able to pay off all his bills if he killed his kids. And that's what he did. And so he maintained his innocence, but it took a jury less than 1 hour to convict him, and they sentenced him to death.
Good, because
he was executed 10 years after his son's death on March 31st, 1984.
Wow.
This happened in Houston, y'all.
People are really sick for money. People do crazy ass things. Like, why? You think
his kids.
Was it around Halloween that he did this? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah, it was like Halloween night.
He used that to like prey on his own kids. Like, that's just
which in turn made all of Houston community that scared everybody else. And then I think that the following Halloweens, you know, they weren't so fun because everybody was like, hell no.
Right.
Everybody, you know, was like, hell no, like, you're not, you know, it scared a lot of the parents. It really took a lot of, that's what the woman was saying, like, he took all of our trust and all of our happiness away to celebrate this night. Like,
that's just like back when I want to say when we were younger, or I don't even know what the exact date is or time, whatever. But when people were putting like needles in kids' candy for trick or treat, or like putting nails, like weird shit, like harmful shit into kids' candy to where it's not even safe to trick or treat anymore. Like, I've never been trick or treating. My mama wasn't playing that, so I never got the whole experience.
At all? You came trick or treating with us.
No, I didn't.
In high school, we went trick or treating.
No, I didn't, Alex. The fuck? Never been trick or treating anyway.
You went to you went to a Halloween party one night with us. You never went trick or treating?
No. So,
come on, Miss Clay. It ain't that scary. It ain't that scary out here.
girl, did you not just hear me say people was putting needles in chocolates? It's not scary. What's wrong with you?
Girl, I was trick or treating at Acres Home. If I made it through, you'll be all right.
Girl, I finally went to like my first Halloween party last year and like wasn't scared. It's becoming a big girl.
Do y'all see what I be dealing with over here?
I'm a big girl now at the age of 28. Still not going to no haunted house though.
That's why we trying to get her up and out. Yes, you are going to a haunted house.
No, I'm not. I put that on your life. Yeah, that shows you how serious I am about not going to this haunted house.
Is that a threat?
The world is a haunted house of its own that I have to go through every day.
Oh my goodness.
Like, honey,
those are just some high school kids paid to
kill us all.
Have a little fun.
Girl, I don't want to be on Click 2 Houston telling my story about how this high schooler tried to get me in the haunted house. No.
But if y'all have any little ghost stories or little thoughts you had about the stories we told today, please, DM us, email us, barcodedchats@gmail.com. We love to hear it. It's Halloween, it's October. Like, share.
Right.
But what else? So let's take a poll. Who thinks we'll get Niteria to go to the haunted house?
Nobody better raise their hand. Nobody better click, comment, nothing. No, she's not taking me to a haunted house.
I might try to prank her for y'all. I might try to get her good.
She want to lose a friendship, basically, y'all. Because I don't know why people think it's funny to scare me. Like, okay, and when you get hit in your eye, it's going to be just as funny. I'm not understanding. City always want to play with me. Ugh. She's so irritating, y'all.
I like to have a little fun. I like to live life on the edge.
It's going to be on the edge, all right. On the edge.
Dying.
But yes, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to tune into our next episode, which will be for Halloween.
We're doing something a little special for y'all. But yeah, so definitely going to be talking about Halloween plans, outfits, things like that. But once again, you stuck around to the end of the episode.
Yes.
We appreciate you so much. Please share, please like, please subscribe. Keep coming back. Like I said, every Friday, y'all.
Yes. And until next time, you better holla.